welcome here to TalkFCB and welcome back to the channel, guys, to yet more disappointment in this season for Barça. We today have suffered our fourth loss of the league season, and unfortunately this is Xavi's first defeat as the Barça coach, as we have fallen down at the Camp Nou to Real Betis by a goal to nil. But it was a disappointing display, and one really that never got going. We're going to be discussing the game in its entirety. So let's get to it. Because when you have a look here at Xavi's starting lineup coming into this game, it was interesting to see some of these selections. The likes there of Gerard. Piqué was on the bench. Also, Frenkie de Jong was absent from midfield. He was also on the bench too. And Xavi, I guess, didn't feel as though Dembele was ready to start this game. He was also on the bench with Coutinho and Abde starting either side of Memphis, with Serginho Dest returning at right back. So I don't know there if Xavi was just changing a few things, trying a few different things out, or whether he had one eye on that game in midweek against Bayern, maybe resting, rotating a few players, I don't know. But ahead there of kickoff, Pedri presented his Copa trophy, and also Alex Putellas, of course, with her Ballon d'Or. They presented their awards there at the Camp Nou alongside Barca legend Stoichkov, which was probably one of the highlights, I have to say, of today's game. But I do want to make it clear, we started quite well, because I think overall it was quite an erratic display in many ways. But I think in the early exchanges, you look at Coutinho there, he was picking up the ball, he was getting on it, he was looking quite confident, quite lively, and he does do this. This is what I think about Coutinho right now in a Barca shirt. There will be moments, there will be cameos, like when he came on against Villarreal, where he looks lively, where he looks as though he can make something happen. He had our first shot on target in this game, and you think, go on then, announce yourself, do something there, really impose yourself on this team, but then it just drifts away. You don't really follow up on that, and that was the case not just for Coutinho, but the whole team throughout that first half. It was, again, coasting through a game, not really taking anything on, not taking any risks, not really putting Real Betis under any pressure. And I think the moment from the first half that we have to highlight was Gavi's injury. That was one of the real sickening moments from the game, I do have to say. He received there a knock to the head, and he actually went through something similar to this when he was on international duty the last time for Spain. He actually tried to play on at first, but quickly he realised that he couldn't. He then went to ground, and it was very worrying scenes indeed. All the medical staff came on, they were around Gavi, making sure that he was going to be okay after that knock to the head. He did go off on a stretcher, and that's something that you never, ever want to see, especially when you're talking about a head injury. So the one thing that we have to say, the most important thing from this game, is that we all hope Gavi is going to be fine and make a full and speedy recovery, and the early signs are apparently good, as Gavi is going to be okay, which hopefully there is one good sign. But I think when we were going into the half-time break there, Ricky Puig came on to replace Gavi in that midfield. Interesting that it wasn't Frenkie, so that would imply that maybe Xavi wanted to give him a little bit more time away from the field. But I think at half-time, we didn't really provide anything in that first half. I don't think Betis troubled us either. I think it was very much a game with the two teams trying to work each other out, and we were all hoping that going into that second half with the options that we had on the bench, that maybe we could turn the game in our favour. But again, we came out for the second half there, and it was sort of going through the motions, quite a slow play. I have to say as well, there wasn't too much atmosphere inside the stadium today. 66,000, not a bad crowd at all, but I just didn't really feel it today in the game. I really didn't. Abde was one of the few players on that right-hand side for the majority of the game where he was trying something. At least he was running at players. At least he was actually taking a risk and getting crosses in, but there was nobody really there. Memphis today drifted through the game. He coasted through it. You barely saw Memphis Depay, and that is a real problem when your vocal point of your attack, the man you need to score the goals, he's not there. He's nowhere to be found, and that was a real issue. On the hour mark, Xavi decided then to roll the dice. He brought on Dembele. Coutinho went off instead of Abde. That was a big move there, because Abde, for me, deserved definitely to stay on the field. De Jong came on for Nico Gonzalez, who was not really, I feel, today at his best in that midfield. And initially, you do have to say that Dembele came on, despite all of the talks that are going on about his future, all of that background noise. He did play well. He made a good initial impact into the game, providing a bit of a spark, making things happen. He had a few really good shots on goal, one of them just inches away, very close to going in, and it just felt like that kind of game again, whereby there were some good moments. Abde as well later on in the game had a brilliant chance in front of goal, but we did not score the goal. And the warning signs were there from Betis. I think right the way through the game, we spoke about coming into it that Juanmi, that pace in behind, he scored a hat-trick in Betis' last game. He is clearly a big threat for them. And they did break through on 52 minutes. It was a counter-attacking move there. Ter Stegen, no idea what he was doing there. Comes out of his goal, trying to anticipate a cross. Juanmi gets on the end of it. It's a goal for Betis, but we are all saved by the offside flag. And it was a really close decision. But 10 minutes from time, Betis made no mistake. And it almost felt as though when that goal went in, you're not that surprised. Obviously, we're disappointed. It hurts. You don't want to be conceding goals and losing games. But was I shocked that they won? Was I shocked there that they scored? Not really. It was a good finish from Juanmi in the end. They had an overload there on the left-hand side. Barça committing more and more players forward, looking for the winner. We conceded there and lost the game in that moment. And it's a shame. It really is. I think Xavi has a lot to do. That's not really news. We all know that he has much to do here to improve this team and improve these players. Because honestly, it's not good enough. What we're seeing from this team right now, what we're seeing from these Barcelona players, we need more. We know that Betis are a good team. It's not like we've lost here today to absolute nobodies. You can see right here from the league table, that win moves them up to third. They're having a really good season, but we should be up there too. We do not belong there down in 7th place, but our performances this season, they meant that we do. We have to get out of that situation later on today. Real Madrid play, Atletico play, Sevilla have already won. These teams around us, they're picking up points. They're winning games. And if we are not careful, we are going to find it tough to get out of this position. We have to turn it around. And we have to start showing more than what we did today. And I think, of course, for all of us Barca fans coming into this game this weekend, I try not to mention it too much in the build-up. Of course, we do have one eye. We do have half of our minds on the game coming up against Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Of course, we all want to stay in the Champions League. We don't want to fall in to the Europa League. But I honestly feel, looking at that game today, the way we've seen the team play throughout the entire season and in the Champions League, probably the best chance that we're going to have of progressing, it's not going to be down to us, because we go to Bayern. I think the game that we should be watching, it's Benfica against Dinamo Kiev, because honestly, that's the game that probably is going to decide our fate, because if Benfica fail to beat Dinamo, you would say that is probably more likely than us going to Bayern and winning. Of course we're going to try, we're going to give everything, we cannot give up, and these players have got to have hope going into the game, but that Benfica versus Dinamo game, it's a big one, and next week, we will come on to all of that. But today, guys, unfortunately, we could not follow up those first 2 wins in the league under Xavi. It's a big blow for him here. I'm sure that he's hurting. I'm sure that he's disappointed with his team. But I just hope here we can look at what we're doing wrong, look at our failings, look at what didn't quite happen for us today, and improve upon that. Because these players, a lot of what we've seen out there today, it's not enough. You've got to give more. And please do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What went wrong out there? Are you surprised by the result today? Do you feel as though Barca maybe deserve more from the game? Let me know all that down below. I will see you soon ahead of that big Champions League clash. But until next time, guys, thank you indeed for watching and for supporting. As always, Visca El Barça.